The UN Commission for the Asia-Pacific region recently held a panel session in the western port city of Incheon to discuss how Korea can overcome its labour market troubles and boost productivity. Oh Seong reports.
Koreans are some of the most overworked employees in the world, as well as some of the most underpaid, according to the OECD. Its report suggests this may be why the country has such low productivity, especially in the service sector, which has the lowest productivity among OECD countries. Manufacturing productivity has slowed, its index hitting 99.4% last year, down by almost 3 points from 2011. Korea's productivity decline comes as part of a regional trend. On Friday, the UN's Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific launched its flagship report. It shows a collective fall in annual productivity growth to below 1% in recent years. This drop accounted for almost a fifth of the region's economic slowdown in the last decade. To revive economic growth, the report prescribed policy recommendations, primarily on boosting domestic consumption and real income by improving labour productivity.
You need to develop capacity, you need to develop workforce that is able to cope with the new challenges in the society, and then you need to increase the ability of the countries to cope with the problems that it has.
To discuss the applicability of these measures in Korea, a panel discussion was held in Incheon.
In order to boost domestic consumption, I think there's a lot of things that the government is trying to do, but because companies are not able to or not willing to invest in their reinvestment, growing their companies, hiring more people, it has created a lull in the economy, and we really need a very innovative, creative break in order to break out of this lull.
Experts also addressed the need to balance out uneven concentrations of wage and human capital riddling the labour market.
Young workers avoid jobs in currently unproductive industries like service and manufacturing and turn to established conglomerates due to huge wage discrepancies. We need to foster work environments that properly compensate workers and allow them to grow.
The UN Commission says higher productivity goes beyond economic gain to benefit society as a whole. It serves as a positive step towards achieving the UN's Sustainable Development Goals by the year 2030. Oh Seong, Arirang News.